Adam Curtis stood by the window of Earth's International Space Station. He looked at the strange ship coming closer. Its outside shined in a way that seemed to both take in and send out light at the same time. No human ships ever looked like that. "They are calling us again," said Lisa Morgan. Lisa worked with the station's communication systems. Her voice stayed calm even though everyone had been worried since the ship appeared one day ago. Adam kept looking at the alien ship and nodded. "Let them talk to us." The screen turned on. It showed a being with blue, scaly skin and big eyes made of many small parts. A machine started working to change the clicks and whistles into English words. "We are the Varix Collective," the alien said. "We think your kind might be dangerous to peace in the galaxy. We want to talk before we decide what to do next." "What to do next?" Adam's forehead wrinkled. "What does that mean?" The alien's big eyes moved a little. "It means your kind must show us you deserve to rule yourselves. The collective has met simple life forms before. Some join us, others need to be managed." Before Adam could answer, a bright light came from the alien ship. A beam of light, pale green and somehow strange to human eyes, shot toward the station. Lisa screamed and bent down, but Adam stood still, watching as the beam went through the station's walls and covered him. He felt a strange tingling then. Nothing happened. The alien on screen made a noise that might have been surprise. "That cannot be," it said. "Our control ray does not affect your body." Adam looked at his hands, then back at the alien. "What was that supposed to do?" "It makes all thinking life forms calm and easy to control," the alien said. The machine could not hide the confusion in its voice. "It has worked on 47 different kinds of beings across the galaxy. Yet you stand there unchanged. Down on Earth, army bases around the world said similar beams hit places where many people lived, and everywhere the same thing happened. Humans were not affected at all." The alien leader's voice changed to a new tone, one that Adam's army training told him right away was fear. "We must talk with the collective," the alien said quickly. "Stay where you are. Do not try to leave your station." The talk ended, leaving Adam and Lisa staring at each other in shock. "Get me the Secretary General," Adam finally said. "I think our new neighbors just got very interested in humans." Back on Earth, news of the alien beam spread fast. The world's leaders called an emergency meeting. Scientists rushed to study the few places where the beam had touched our world. "It seems like the beam should change how our brains work," said Dr. Ellie Patel at the main science lab in Washington. "But human brains just don't react to it." Around the world, people wondered what would happen next. Some were afraid. Others felt proud that humans had somehow stood up to alien power without even trying. In his office at the United Nations, the Secretary General listened as Adam explained what happened on the space station. "So these Varix can control most life forms they meet?" the Secretary General asked. "Yes," Adam said. "That's how they built their collective. Not by war, but by turning other beings into willing servants. And now they've found the one species they can't control," the Secretary General said thoughtfully. "Us." Outside the windows of the UN building, people had gathered in the streets, not in fear but in unity. News had spread that humans alone could stand against the aliens' control. "We need to find out why we're different," Adam said. "And we need to do it fast. The Varix have other weapons, I'm sure. They just didn't expect to need them." The Secretary General nodded. "I've called the best minds on Earth to work on this. Dr. Hannah Wells is leading the team. If anyone can figure out why we're immune, it's her." Meanwhile, in space, the alien ship kept its position near the space station. More ships had arrived too, keeping their distance but clearly watching Earth. Adam returned to the space station the next day. As the shuttle docked, he could see that things had changed. Earth ships now surrounded the station, a show of human strength. "They've been quiet," Lisa told him when he stepped onto the main deck. "No more calls, no more beams, they're just watching us." Adam looked out at the alien ships. "They're thinking, planning. They've never met a species they couldn't control before." "What do you think they'll do next?" Lisa asked. "I think they'll try to understand us," Adam said. And I think we need to understand them too. This immunity we have, it's not just luck. There has to be a reason. Later that day, as Adam was reviewing security plans, the communication system came to life again. Incoming message from the Varric ship, Lisa called. The same alien appeared on screen, but its manner had changed. It seemed more careful now, less commanding. Human representatives, it began. We wish to establish proper diplomatic relations. Our initial approach was standard procedure. We now see your species requires unique consideration. Adam stepped forward. We are willing to talk, but know this. Any action against Earth will be met with resistance. Understood, the alien said. We propose a meeting, your representatives and ours. There is much we need to discuss. After the call ended, Adam contacted Earth. They want to talk, he told the Secretary General. I think they're afraid of us now, afraid of what we might represent, or what we might become, the Secretary General replied. A species immune to their greatest power, who knows what else we might be capable of. As night fell over the space station, Adam looked down at the blue planet below. For all of human history, people had looked up at the stars and wondered if they were alone. Now they had their answer, but it came with new questions. Why were humans different? What made them immune when no other species was? And what would happen when the Varrics realized they couldn't simply add humans to their collection of controlled species? Adam didn't know the answers yet. But he knew one thing for sure. Humanity had just become the most important species in the galaxy, and nothing would ever be the same again. Dr. Hannah Wells rubbed her tired eyes. She had been working for many hours in the special lab at the CDC. Around her, other scientists looked at samples of tissue that had been touched by the alien beam. It does not make sense, she said, pushing her blonde hair away from her face. The beam touches our cells, but then nothing happens. It's like our bodies just ignore it. Maybe that's exactly what is happening, said Greg Martinez, a scientist from MIT who studied very small things. Look at these numbers. The beam works at a very tiny level. It should change how brain cells connect. But human brain cells seem to have some kind of shield. The lab door opened and General Paul Vincent walked in. His face looked serious. Please tell me you found something, he said right away. The Varrics have used weapons against 3 of our space stations, but they aren't doing a big attack yet. We need to know why their tools don't work on us. Hannah pointed to her screens. We're getting closer. It looks like humans have something special in our brains that makes us safe from their control tools. It might be from how we grew up on Earth, maybe because of the sun's rays or the rocks in our soil. Whatever it is, the Varrics can't control us like they've controlled other living things. So we're special, Paul said flatly. Great. But they still have normal weapons that can destroy our cities. Yes, Hannah said, but they don't seem to want to use those. They prefer to control rather than kill. That gives us time. Greg looked up from his work. There's something else. I've been studying the energy from the alien beam. If we can make the same kind of energy but flip it around, we could make our own tool. Hannah finished his thought. Something that affects their brains the way theirs was supposed to affect ours. Paul's face got darker. You're talking about making a mind control tool? Hannah shook her head. Not control, protection. Something that stops their weapons from working without hurting them. A defense tool. Do it, Paul ordered. The president is meeting with world leaders in 6 hours. I want something real to show them. After the general left, Hannah went back to her work. Something in how we grew made us safe from their beam, she said quietly. Now we need to understand why. In the days that followed, Hannah and her team worked without stopping. They tested the alien beam on different kinds of cells. They looked at old human bones to see if people from long ago had the same protection. They even tested animals to see if anything else on Earth was immune. Only humans, Hannah told the president during a video call. Not even our closest animal relatives have this protection. It's something unique to us. The president looked worried. The Varrics have asked for a meeting. They want to send representatives to Earth. I need to know if that's safe. We've found no sign they can harm us with their control beams, Hannah said. But we should be careful. They might have other weapons. And what about your work on a defense? The president asked. Hannah smiled for the first time in days. We have a prototype. It's rough, but it works. We can block their beam completely. The news spread around the world. Humans were not only immune to alien control, they had found a way to fight back. 3 days later, the Varric ship landed in a special area built in the middle of a desert. World leaders gathered to meet the aliens, protected by soldiers with new shields based on Hannah's work. The alien leader stepped out of the ship. It was taller than in the video calls, almost 7 feet high. Its blue skin shimmered in the sun. I am Coordinator Vex, it said through a translator. The Varrics Collective extends formal greetings to humanity. The president stepped forward. We welcome you to Earth. We hope our meeting will lead to understanding between our peoples. Vex's large eyes blinked. Understanding is precisely what we seek. Your immunity to our harmonizing technology is unprecedented. In all our travels, we have never encountered a species with such resistance. Harmonizing technology? The president asked. Is that what you call your control beam? A simple translation error, Vex said smoothly. We prefer to think of it as bringing different minds into harmony with the collective will. Hannah watched from the side, her scanner hidden in her pocket. It showed that the alien was trying to use the control beam right now, even as they talked. The Varrics were still testing, still trying to find a way through human immunity. We have much to learn from each other, the president said. But first we need to establish trust. Our scientists have discovered that your ships are still sending control beams toward Earth. This must stop. Vex's body language changed. It seemed surprised that humans had detected the beams. A misunderstanding. Our systems sometimes continue. Standard protocols. All the same, the president said firmly. It must end now. We want peace, but we will defend ourselves if needed. Later, as Hannah reviewed the meeting data, she found something interesting. During the talks, when the Varrics tried to use their beam, her sensors picked up something else too. A different signal, very weak, coming from human brains. It was like an answer to the alien beam, a signal saying, no. It's like an immune response, she told Greg as they worked late in the lab. Our brains recognize the alien signal as dangerous and block it automatically. But why? Greg asked. How did humans develop this ability when no other species has it? Hannah looked at the brain scans again. I'm not sure, but look at this part of the brain tissue. This pattern here, it's not random. It's too perfectly designed to be natural. Greg leaned closer to see. Are you saying someone designed humans to be immune? I don't know, Hannah said. But I'm starting to think our immunity isn't an accident. Someone somewhere wanted humans to be safe from the kind of control the Varrics use. That night, Hannah worked alone in the lab. She ran new tests, looking deeper into human DNA. What she found made her sit back in shock. There, hidden in human genetic code, was a pattern that couldn't have happened by accident. A pattern that was designed to fight exactly the kind of technology the Varrics used. Hannah picked up her phone with shaking hands. She needed to call the president right away. The truth about human immunity was far stranger than anyone had guessed, and it meant that humanity's meeting with the Varrics might not be their first contact with alien life after all. 2 months after the first meeting with the Varrics, the world had changed. Countries that once fought each other now worked together. Earth's best scientists shared their knowledge freely. A single goal united everyone: to understand the alien threat and protect humanity. Scott Davis stood on the bridge of the UNS Defender, Earth's first true space warship. Built in record time using new technology, it carried weapons based on Dr. Hannah Wells's research. All systems ready, Commander, said Amy Clark, his second in command. The shield generators are working at full power. Scott nodded. And our guests? Waiting in the meeting room, Amy replied. They seemed nervous. Scott could understand why. Their guests were not human. They were Jegzari, bird-like aliens from a world 50 light-years away. Unlike the Varrics, who came to Earth in giant ships, the Jegzari came in a small craft, running from their Varrics masters. The collective controls hundreds of worlds. The Jexari leader named Krell had told them when they first arrived. We have served them for 300 years, unable to fight their mind control. When we heard about humans, about your immunity, we risked everything to find you. Now, a month later, the Jexari were helping humans build better defenses. They knew Varric's technology well after centuries of forced service. Scott walked into the meeting room. Krell stood there, his feathers shining blue and green in the light. Two other Jexari stood beside him. Commander Davis, Krell said with a small bow. My people have finished the changes to your shield design. It will now protect not just humans but any species from the Varric's control beam. That's good news, Scott said. How soon can we start making these for your people? We have already sent the plans to our hidden colonies, Krell said. Soon, for the first time in generations, my people will know true freedom. A loud alarm suddenly filled the ship. Amy's voice came over the speaker. Commander, to the bridge. Varric ships entering Earth space. Scott ran back to the bridge with the Jexari following close behind. The main screen showed 5 large Varric ships moving toward Earth. They're not responding to our calls, Amy reported. Krell's feathers stood up in what Scott had learned was a sign of fear. Those are warships. The collective must have learned of our escape. They are coming to take us back and to punish Earth for helping us. Scott's face grew serious. They'll have to get through us first. Battle stations. The UNS Defender moved to meet the Varric's ships. Though much smaller, it carried humanity's best technology, including the new shields that blocked the Varric's control beam. They're charging weapons, Amy reported. Raise shields, Scott ordered. But don't fire unless fired upon. The lead Varric's ship sent out a message. On the screen appeared a Varric's different from those they had met before. This one had red markings on its blue skin. I am War Coordinator Zex of the Varric's Collective, it said. You harbor fugitives from collective authority. Return the Jexari to us immediately. Scott stepped forward. The Jexari came to us seeking help. They are under Earth's protection now. Protection? Zex made a sound like cold laughter. Your species has existed as a unified civilization for less than 200 years. The collective has ruled the stars for 50,000 years. You cannot stand against us. We can, Scott said firmly. And we will. The days of the collective controlling other species are ending. Zex's compound eyes seemed to narrow. Then, we will use other methods. The screen went dark. Moments later, the Varric ships fired energy weapons at the Defender. Impact in 3 seconds, Amy shouted. Scott held his breath. This was the first real test of Earth's new defenses. The ship shook as the energy beams hit, but the shields held. Shields at 82%, Amy reported with relief in her voice. The Jexari modifications worked. Return fire, Scott ordered. Target their weapon systems only. The Defender fired back. Its beams cut through the Varric shields as if they weren't. There, direct hit, Amy said. Their main weapons are offline. Krell stepped forward, his eyes wide. How? Varric shields are the strongest in the known galaxy. Scott smiled. Dr. Wells discovered something interesting. The same part of human biology that makes us immune to their control beam also helped us understand their shield technology. Their energy fields work on the same basic principle. On the screen, the Varric ships were pulling back. 4 smaller Earth ships moved in to join the Defender. They're retreating, Amy said. But Scott shook his head. They're regrouping. This was just a test. They wanted to see what we can do. Krell's feathers slowly relaxed. For 300 years, no one has stood against the collective and won. Today, you have given hope to countless enslaved worlds. Later that day, Scott met with Earth's leaders by video call. Dr. Hannah Wells was there too, looking tired but excited. The battle confirms my theory, Hannah said. Human immunity isn't just about our brains. It's in our understanding of physics itself. We see energy and matter differently than the Varrics do. But why? Asked the president. Why are humans different? Hannah took a deep breath. I've confirmed what I suspected. Human DNA contains engineered sequences, parts that don't match normal evolution. Someone changed our ancestors long ago. They gave us this immunity on purpose. The room fell silent. Are you saying aliens visited Earth in the past? Scott asked. Yes, Hannah said. But not the Variks. Someone else. Someone who wanted to create a species that could stand against the collective. The Jexari have stories, Krell said suddenly. Ancient legends about beings who came before the Variks. They called them the predecessors. The collective destroyed all records of them, but the stories say they seeded the galaxy with life. Then where are they now? The president asked. Gone, Krell said. The stories say they left our galaxy long ago, but perhaps they left something behind. Perhaps they left you, humans. Scott looked out the window at the stars. If Hannah and Krell were right, then humanity had a greater purpose than anyone had ever imagined. They weren't just fighting for Earth or even for the Jexari. They were fulfilling a plan set in motion thousands of years ago. The Variks will be back, Scott said. And next time, they'll bring their full force. Then we'll be ready, Hannah replied. We're learning more every day and we're not alone anymore. As if to emphasize her point, a message came in. More alien ships were approaching Earth, not Variks this time, but representatives from 3 other species under collective control. They had heard about what happened and came seeking freedom. The rebellion against the Variks collective had begun, and humanity, the one species immune to Variks control, was at its center. 6 months after the first battle with the Variks, Earth had become the center of what people now called the Freedom Alliance. 23 alien species had joined, all former slaves of the Variks collective. Ships from these alien worlds filled Earth's orbit, many fitted with human-designed shield technology. Adam Curtis, now an admiral, stood in the big meeting room of the new space station called Unity. Around him sat representatives from all the Alliance worlds. Some looked almost human. Others were very different, some had scales, others feathers, and one species was made mostly of a clear gel-like substance. The Variks have pulled back from 3 more star systems, Adam told the group. Their control over the outer regions is breaking down as more worlds learn about the shield technology. Krell, who now led the Jexari forces, nodded his feathered head. My people report that the collective is in chaos. For the first time in thousands of years, they face real resistance. But they're not defeated yet, added Lisa Morgan, now Adam's wife and the head of Alliance Communications. They're building up forces near their home worlds. Our scouts say they're making new kinds of weapons. The meeting room grew quiet. Everyone knew the Variks would not give up easily. 50,000 years of power would not end without a fight. What about the research team? Asked a representative of the Dozari, a species with 4 arms and gold-colored skin. Has Dr. Wells made progress? Adam pressed a button and Hannah's face appeared on the main screen. She looked tired but excited. We've made a breakthrough, Hannah said. After studying DNA from all 23 Alliance species, we've found something extraordinary. Every species that evolved on worlds once visited by the predecessors has tiny traces of the same engineered gene sequences found in humans. But only in humans were these sequences fully activated. What does that mean? Adam asked. It means the predecessors didn't just change humans, Hannah explained. They planted similar potential in many species across the galaxy. But something about Earth, perhaps our sun's radiation or our planet's magnetic field, caused these changes to fully express in humans. So other species could potentially develop the same immunity? Lisa asked. Exactly, Hannah said. We've already had success activating these dormant sequences in Jexari test subjects. They're showing the first signs of immunity to the Variks. Control beam. The room filled with excited voices. If all Alliance species could become immune like humans, the Variks would lose their greatest weapon forever. The excitement was cut short by a loud alarm. Red lights flashed across the station. Multiple Varik ships detected, called a voice over the speakers. Largest fleet yet, at least 50 warships. Adam rushed to the command center with the other leaders following. The main screen showed the approaching Variks fleet. It was massive, far larger than anything they had faced before. They must have learned about our research, Lisa said. They're making their move before we can spread immunity to other species. Adam's face was serious as he gave orders. Get all civilian ships behind Earth's defense line, move our battlecruisers to the front, and contact Dr. Wells. Tell her to secure all research data immediately. As Alliance ships moved into defensive positions, a message came in from the Varix fleet. The screen showed a Varix unlike any they had seen before. Its skin was not blue but a deep purple, and it wore a complex gold covering on its head. I am High Director Zax of the Varix Collective, it said. For 50,000 years we have maintained order in this galaxy. We have guided lesser species toward useful service. Today that order is threatened by your rebellion. Adam stepped forward. We don't want war, High Director. We want freedom for all species to choose their own path. Freedom is chaos, Zax replied. Before the Collective, the galaxy was torn by endless wars. We brought peace through unity. You brought slavery through mind control, Adam countered. Zax's compound eyes seemed to flash with anger. We offered purpose, direction. Without us, these species would still be primitive savages. That was not your choice to make, Adam said firmly. Zax made a gesture, and the screen split to show another image, a laboratory deep in Varix territory. Behold the price of your rebellion, Zax said. The screen showed captured aliens from various Alliance worlds being forced into chambers filled with strange energy. As Adam and the others watched in horror, the aliens' bodies changed, becoming twisted and wrong. Since we cannot control those with your shield technology, Zax explained, we have developed new methods. These subjects will become the first of our new warrior class, bred for absolute loyalty and designed to overcome your defenses. Adam felt cold anger rise in him. This ends now, he said, his voice low and dangerous. The Alliance will stop you. You cannot stop what has already begun, Zax replied, and with that, the Varix fleet opened fire. The battle was fierce. Alliance ships fought bravely, but they were outnumbered. The new Varix weapons could penetrate their shields, though not completely. Several Earth ships were badly damaged. And so, her laboratory on Earth, Hannah worked frantically to save her research as the battle raged above. She had just finished transferring the data when her assistant called her to look at a screen. What is it? Hannah asked. I don't know, the assistant said. We picked up a strange energy reading from deep space beyond the battle. Hannah looked at the readings and froze. That's impossible. What is it? The assistant asked again. It's a quantum signature, Hannah said quietly. The exact same pattern as the one encoded in human DNA, but much, much stronger. Back in space, the battle had reached a critical point. The Alliance fleet was being pushed back toward Earth. Then suddenly, all sensors detected a massive energy surge. A great circle of light appeared at the edge of the solar system. It grew larger, shimmering with colors no one had seen before. The Varix ships stopped firing, as if they too were shocked by what they saw. From the circle emerged a ship of incredible size and beauty. It seemed to be made of light itself, shifting and changing as it moved. It dwarfed even the largest Varix vessels. What is that? Lisa whispered, as they all stared at the screen. Adam felt a strange certainty fill him. I think, he said slowly, that the predecessors have returned. Every screen in the Alliance fleet suddenly showed the same image, a being that looked almost human, but with skin that glowed softly and eyes that held the depth of stars. Children of Earth, the being said in a voice that somehow reached into every mind. You have awakened the beacon. We have heard your call. As the massive ship moved between the Alliance fleet and the Varix, the High Director's voice came through, now filled with what could only be described as fear. This is impossible, Zax said. The predecessors left this galaxy 50,000 years ago. We did, the glowing being replied, but we never stopped watching, and now we have returned. The huge ship of the predecessors moved between the Freedom Alliance fleet and the Varix ships. No one fired weapons. It was as if time itself had stopped. Adam Curtis and Lisa Morgan stood together on the bridge of the Unity station, watching the giant screen. Everyone was silent, waiting to see what would happen next. "We have watched your struggle," said the predecessor being on the screen. Its voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. "We have seen the courage of Earth and its allies against the collective." High Director Zax of the Variks replied, his voice now much less sure. "The predecessors abandoned this galaxy long ago. You gave up your right to interfere." "We did not abandon," the predecessor said. "We evolved. We moved to a different level of existence, but we left behind caretakers, species with the potential to one day take our place." "Humans," Adam whispered, understanding at last. "Yes," the predecessor said, somehow hearing him across the vastness of space. "Humans were the most promising of many species we seeded with our genetic gifts. Your world's unique conditions allowed those gifts to fully activate." On the Unity station, Dr. Hannah Wells had joined the bridge crew. She stepped forward now, her face showing both excitement and concern. "You engineered our immunity to the Variks control beam," she said. "You made us different on purpose." "We did," the predecessor acknowledged. "We foresaw that after our departure, some species might seek control rather than cooperation. We created safeguards, species that could not be controlled. Humanity was our strongest safeguard." High Director Zax made an angry sound. "For 50,000 years, the collective has maintained order in this galaxy. We prevented wars. We ended suffering. We lifted primitive species out of savagery by removing their free will," Adam said. "That's not progress, it's just another form of extinction." The predecessor being seemed to nod. "The choice between chaos and control is not the only choice. There is a third path, cooperation between truly free beings." The giant predecessor ship began to glow more brightly. Beams of soft light extended from it, touching each of the Variks vessels. "What are you doing?" Zax demanded, fear now clear in his voice. "We are not like you," the predecessor replied. "We do not control, we offer a choice." The light spread from the Varik ships to all the ships of the Freedom Alliance too. It did not feel harmful. Instead, it felt warm and somehow familiar to everyone it touched. "This light carries knowledge," the predecessor explained. "Knowledge of who we were, why we left, and what we hoped the galaxy might become. We offer this knowledge freely to all species, Variks included." On the Unity station, Hannah looked at her scanner. "The light is activating the dormant gene sequences in all species. It's giving everyone the immunity humans have." "What?" Zax cried out. "No, you cannot take away our control." "We are not taking anything," the predecessor said calmly. "We are giving freedom to choose. What happens next is up to all of you." The light faded slowly. The predecessor ship moved back as if giving space for what would come next. Adam stepped forward. "High Director Zax, the time of the collective as you knew it is over. But that doesn't mean there can't be a new beginning. Join the Alliance as equals, not as masters." For a long moment, there was silence. Then one of the Variks ships moved, forward separating from the others. "This is Subdirector Vix," came a new voice. "Many among the Variks have questioned the old ways for centuries. Without the control beam, the High Council can no longer silence us. We wish to talk about this new beginning." More Varik ships moved to join Vix's. Soon nearly half the Variks fleet had separated from Zax's command. "Traitors," Zax hissed. "The Council will not forget this betrayal." "It is not betrayal to choose a better path," Vix replied. "Our people have lived too long in fear of losing control. Perhaps it is time to learn how to live as equals." As the Variks fleet divided, the predecessor ship began to move away. "Wait!" Adam called out. "Are you leaving again?" The predecessor being appeared on the screen once more. "Our journey continues, but we will not be far. You have proven yourselves worthy successors to our legacy. Now the future of this galaxy is in your hands. All of you, together. But we have so many questions, Hannah said. About who you are, where you came from, where you're going. In time, the predecessor said gently. We have shared much knowledge in the light. Study it. Learn from it. When you are ready for more, call to us. We will hear you. With that, the great ship moved toward the edge of the solar system. It seemed to shimmer, then vanished in a flash of light that briefly outshone the sun. In the days that followed, a fragile peace took hold. The Variks under Subdirector Vix joined talks with the Freedom Alliance. High Director Zax and those loyal to him retreated to the Variks' home worlds, but without the control beam, their power was greatly weakened. 1 month later, Adam and Lisa stood in a new meeting hall on Earth. Representatives from 30 species now filled the room, including some Variks. They had gathered to sign the first true galactic treaty not based on control, but on mutual respect and cooperation. It won't be easy, Lisa said quietly. Some of these species have been enemies for thousands of years. Nothing worthwhile ever is easy, Adam replied. But for the first time, every being in this room is here by choice. That's a good start. Hannah joined them, carrying a datapad. We've decoded more of the knowledge the predecessors shared, she said. It's amazing. They've given us star maps, histories, scientific principles we've never imagined. Did they say why they chose humans? Lisa asked. Why Earth specifically? Hannah smiled. Actually, yes. It wasn't just our biology. They saw something in early humans that impressed them. Our creativity, our ability to cooperate, but also our fierce defense of freedom. They said we reminded them of themselves when they were young. The room quieted as the signing ceremony began. Adam looked around at the gathered representatives, so different in form yet now united in purpose. The predecessors gave us a gift, he said softly. Not just immunity to control, but a chance to build something new together. Outside the windows of the meeting hall, the stars shone brightly in the night sky. Somewhere out there, the predecessors were watching. And for the first time in 50,000 years, the galaxy was truly free. High above Earth on the Unity station, a small team monitored deep space. One of them noticed a strange reading, a faint signal from far beyond the known regions. What do you think it is? A young officer asked. The older scientist smiled. An invitation, perhaps. The predecessors said our journey is just beginning. I think they're showing us the way.